Hi, I'm Scot Thigpen, President of the Thigpen Group Wealth Advisors. Welcome to another edition of our Live Your Life educational series. There's a retirement crisis in this country. Far too many baby boomers are not prepared for retirement. And one of the most overlooked pieces of retirement income needs is related to health care costs during the retirement years. We want people to be prepared for this. So today I'm joined by Michelle Whitaker to discuss a very important piece of retirement, Medicare planning. Michelle is a local independent insurance agent who's specialized in the area of Medicare planning for the last 13 years. But she really got into this as a result of helping her own parents navigate what can be a very complex road. So Michelle, welcome.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you.
Michelle, we hear quite often people say, I don't even know what questions to ask. Mm-hmm. So can you help with that?
Very common question. I hear it a lot myself. Making decisions related to Medicare can be quite confusing. It is kind of complicated. You have decisions to make regarding how long you'll work, when you'll start Medicare, and then what parts of Medicare do I need. That's a real general one. And of course you get things in the mail, and what do you do with all this stuff you're getting in the mail. So it is very overwhelming. I hear that question a lot. What do I do? And
Yeah. When you've done this for 13 years now, when do you think people should begin making these decisions about Medicare planning?
So Medicare, as an insurance agent, I come into the picture in a person's life at about 64 and a half. That's a very good time for me to sit down with a client to go over their decisions and choices related to Medicare. But there's some important information that your client should know that affect them at 65, and they can take action at 62, 63, 64, in that age range, 2 to 3 years before being eligible for Medicare. If they know about it, they can take action. The problem is most people don't know about this one pitfall, and so by the time I encounter a person at 64 and a half or 65, close to 65, it's too late for them to take action. So I do want to mention this pitfall because I see it happens a lot.
Talk a little bit about what you see.
So there's a thing called IRMA, Income Related Monthly Adjustment. What that means in simple terms is that high income earners will pay more for their Medicare. So if a person's golf friend or their parents or someone they know has been talking to them about Medicare and say, oh, I pay $135 a month, that may not be you. You may be paying more like $700 a month for your Medicare. Depends on the income bracket you fall in. That's the piece that people should know about, and then make any modifications, changes. That's your area of specialty, so I won't try to address it, but make anything that reduces your taxable income will help them at 65 when they go on Medicare, because the government is going to look back 2 tax years. At age 65, they're looking back 2 tax years, so when you're age 63, that's your tax filing at age 63 is what's going to determine how much you're going to pay for your Medicare at 65.
Yeah.
So you can see by the time you're 65, it's too late because they're going back 2 years already.
Yeah.
So making these adjustments at 62, 63 makes perfect sense.
Yeah, and we work with some pretty savvy and sophisticated people. I'm surprised the amount of people that had never heard the word IRMA, have no idea what the concept is, and the need to is critically important, and you see that on a daily basis in your work.
I do, and honestly, really, people do not know. They've never heard of IRMA. They don't know. It's been around about, I would say, 8 years, and there's no pre-warning about it. You just get this letter from Social Security when you turn 65 telling you that you assumed that your Medicare would be 135, and you get this letter saying, no, for you it's going to be 700. So I'm glad you're putting the warning out now, because that's important.
Yeah.
People can take action.
It is important.
Now, knowing about it, you can take action. Not knowing about it, you're just stuck with the results.
Well, our clients don't procrastinate, but I do hear there's people out there that do procrastinate, and so that's just human nature, and of course ours do too.
Mm-hmm.
But you see on a quite regular basis what happens if somebody procrastinates versus somebody that addresses this probably when they should. So help me with this a little bit. And from your experience, 13 years, you helped your own parents navigate this, what can be a very complex road too. But what would you say, Michelle, are like the top 3 things that you would tell people to focus on, address, learn a little bit more about right now, prior to 65?
So great question. As a person is approaching Medicare eligibility, which is generally age 65, there's several decisions about, will I keep working? Do I need to be covered under my employer's work insurance for purposes of covering the younger spouse? So when you may be thinking about retirement at 65, going on Medicare and so forth, that may impact your decision. So you may work past 65 because you have a younger spouse who won't be eligible for Medicare for a few more years. And so, if you've got an employer plan that can cover that spouse, it's a financial decision. Is it better to work a few extra years until they're eligible for Medicare, and then you both go on Medicare at that point? So decisions related to when do I retire, when do I come off of my employer plan, all of those are decisions that are impactful and financial decisions. Really, all of these decisions are financial decisions, even as it pertains to Medicare. I tell people it's a financial decision. Do you want this supplement or that supplement? At the point that I interact with someone. But certainly, thinking about covering spouse, that's an important decision. So that may postpone retirement a little bit. And then for those that want to work past 65, and a lot of people are nowadays working past 65, you have a couple of decisions there. You can certainly work as long as you want. Medicare doesn't care, but you must at least draw Medicare Part A. That's the hospitalization. So at 65, at the very least, the government wants you to go on Medicare Part A, even if you're going to continue to be covered under your employer's insurance. And please don't get Medicare Part B. That's a mistake. If you're going to continue working, you don't need Medicare Part B. You'll be paying that premium for no good reason if you're going to be on employer insurance. So that's those kinds of decisions.
That's the whole Medicare alphabet soup that people get so confused with the TV ads that are out there and everything else. That's great.
The TV ads especially are confusing because...
Talk a little bit about that. Because people go to it and they think, oh, this is...
So they talk a lot on television about Medicare Advantage. You see those commercials. And that's also known as Medicare Part C. And so those are, there's a lot of restrictions with those plans, so a person really needs to know the ins and outs of those plans before making such a decision for that. So you don't want to just be lured in by television commercials. It's better to sit down with an insurance professional and discuss your options.
So real life examples are such great evidence too, and I'm sure in 13 years you've seen both sides of it. Somebody that has really addressed this when they needed to, and probably have seen the tremendous benefit that it brought them. And unfortunately, you've probably seen folks on the other side of that equation that did wait too long, didn't take the time to do the pre-retirement plan. But have you got some stories that you could share to really kind of drive home those points?
So the big story would be the disappointment that most people experience when they get the letter saying your Medicare is going to cost you more than you thought. That's disappointing for the person, and certainly for me. And I'm so empathetic. I can't help them. There's nothing I can do to mitigate that. That's something that you have to work on in the prior 2 years. But I hear the grief over it.
Well, lots of opportunities, and as you well know, our wealth management practice, as fiduciaries, we do comprehensive plans, and that gets into a lot of areas, and touches a lot of areas, and there's a lot of details in each one of those areas.
Yeah.
So we're very thankful for folks like you that can help us help clients, that we can bring additional resources in and really drill down and make sure that their retirement plan is very, very solid.
Good.
So
good.
We think that's up. Okay, so you've seen some positive and people that did wait and saw the consequences of that as well. Tremendous opportunities out there. I read just this morning, I think the number was 10,000 baby boomers a day that are turning 65, up to 2030. So lots of opportunities there, and again, as we said earlier, we want to be in a position to help clients that are going through this. So,
and Scott, may I say,
please.
Actually, the ones. It's not that people procrastinate about this planning. It's they don't take action because they don't know. They don't know about it.
Right.
And so this series is it's wonderful that you're doing this, because you can educate people to those pitfalls about IRMA. Again, that's income related monthly adjustment, and in lay terms it just means high earners pay more.
Yeah.
And it can be, instead of the standard Medicare cost with Medicare, a supplement, and a drug plan being at around $300 a month, the cost can be $700 plus, $800. So a big difference, and that's per person per month. And that'll take a big hit to your retirement budget that you thought you were going to have if you hadn't pre-planned.
Particularly being prepared.
So you might have to not take 1 or 2 trips that you planned on doing in retirement, because this is going to be for a couple an extra $1,600 a month.
Yeah.
So that's what's so important.
We do want to help. We love helping.
Yeah.
And you mentioned earlier this morning that there's even a new IRMA chart out for this year. So those are the kind of things that we can put on our website as a link. People may want to refer to that right now if it's got some application. So Michelle, thanks again for coming in today to do this. For next steps, we want you to go to our website if you're interested in this link or additional information. We're going to be doing a number of these educational segments, so we want you to go to our Facebook page, make sure you like that, so you can be signed up for the future ones as well. But I think most importantly, if this affects you and you feel like you need a one-on-one consultation, do schedule that with us. We can help you there. Bring Michelle in as an independent advisor to help look at your personal situation. So we hope you think it was helpful, and until next time, go live your life.